Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you for shredded beef is going to be with pork. If you're going to do it with pork, I highly suggest the pork butt. No, it's not the butt of the pig, it is actually the shoulder. And what I'm going to do, this is frozen so you normally wouldn't have this much trouble. I'm going to cut it lengthwise to go ahead and cut the fibers in half. Now with the fibers cut in half, you have smaller pieces that you have to deal with when you're actually eating it. And because this is a crock pot and I'm doing slow cooking over time, I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces and hopefully get it in there. So the first thing I want to do, you want to get your spice mixture ready. And I use granulated onion, garlic powder, salt and pepper of course, cumin, 2 types of red pepper, it's going to be chili powder and cayenne pepper, and oregano. You can use any spices you want. Whatever it is that you like, throw in here. Don't worry about putting too many spices in because it won't affect the meat at the beginning. But when I show you how to finish this in the oven, that's when it's going to make a difference. So I like to go ahead and put a little in first. And put the meat in. Mix it in so you get it in there. And this sucker is going to work. So, get it in there and that's it. Fill it up with rest with preferably boiling water and you're good to go. Until, give it 4 to 8 hours at high or low depending on the setting and the crock pot you're using. Okay, so this has been cooking for 6 hours now, so I've taken it out of the crock pot. And what you do here is you just basically get 2 forks, and no, this isn't all of it, this is just my first batch. You go ahead and fork it, so you shred the entire beef, and this stuff is falling apart, so that's like really good. Fat, you can just take off to the side. Fat's good for it because it brings in flavor, but you know, the end product, you don't want to be chewing on a hunk of fat. And the great part about the pork butt per se, which is what I'm using, is A, it's relatively inexpensive, but B, it's got a lot of fat. So fat, if you haven't heard this already, fat adds flavor. You want to have fat in your food. No, you don't want to have a whole lot of it, but it's just, between that and spices, you've got to have it. Otherwise, it's just not tasting. So, there we go. Real simple here, and I'm going to go ahead and spread this out a little more. And you don't have to have a fancy little tray to do this in. This is like one really ugly $3 tray that I just used over and over. And you know, you're not going to sit here and present it. You're going to present it in a nice glass. Okay, now what I do here is, remember all of this liquid that I spiced up earlier today? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour that liquid over the shredded beef. And what that is all of the flavor that was in those spices is really locked away inside the liquid. You didn't get it. You didn't get it sucked into the meat. If you're going to do that, you'd probably want to do sous vide or you pack it in a vacuum of some sort. Then that might be able to do it. So that's enough. I have my oven set at 275 degrees. I'm going to throw it in there. When I'm done, take it out in 15 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and scoop and move it around, probably with a spatula, and then put it in for another 15 minutes, and then it's done. You don't want it completely dry like jerky, but you don't want a wet mess. So a lot of this liquid will be dried up and soaked into the meat. And if you just did it like this, it's going to taste okay, but not really full of that spicy flavor that you really want. So this, because of the liquid, suck it in, dry it up, it's going to really concentrate those flavors. Yes, you saw me do 2 real simple things. This is an easy dish. And I'll show you with some other meats of how to go ahead and do this, but that'll be another video. So have fun, and have fun in the kitchen.